Yo, 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 it's Jeb in his house. Hey, yo, we're going to space, yo. Hey, yo, we're going to space. Rolling on 909s, making money big time. Hustle Uncle Sam on the taxpayer's dime. We're the spacemen in our space bridges. We gone from rags to buku riches. Throw your rockets in the air like you just don't care. Throw your rockets in the air like you just don't care. We a G unit, baby. And don't you forget it. We a G force, homie. That's a G limit. We on fire like a blade of home down. See you later. But before I'm out, let's launch this Cap Simulator. We a G unit, baby. We a G unit, baby.
Hello everybody, Thy Lord Root here, and welcome back to another episode of G-Limit. So it's been quite a while. I've been very busy with work and whatnot, and the release, the 1.0.5 release, dropped in the middle of preparations for this. But I have some things I want to do today, and just a couple of craft I'm going to launch. May do a little bit more, we'll just have to see. As these are something that we're going through and we're editing. One thing, of course, that I do want to look at is what contracts we have. So we have about the usual. We have things like mapping the asteroids, which we can sort of do transiently. We have building the Minmus Orbital station, as well as the station around the moon, the contract I just accepted. And I actually have a special craft for that as well. Other things, of course, or that we have the Moon 4 journey, that'll be completed by said other craft. And that is one thing, of course. And some ore as well, so we've got a number of things we can do. We have money now, of course, and money is a good thing to have, but we are finally to the point, I believe, where we want to do some sort of ISRU. Now, I haven't tested this in the new patch, and this is actually for our snap station. It does a number of things that we wouldn't really have access to otherwise, and that includes things like, well, for instance, we've got these large docking ports that the station needs, ISRU unit, lots of solar panel, because the ISRU unit, as it turns out, is quite hefty, and then we have a docking adapter here as well. So, we're going to go ahead, I believe, and get this guy into orbit. You can see that we've got these huge fins down here, and let me just make sure that we have everything we need unlocked. Obviously, the ISRU units do have to be unlocked. But I will get on that real quick, and I will see you out on the launch pad. Alright, we may not be in the perfect place for this. However, I think I'm just going to go ahead and get on my way to Minmus here. Phase angle could be better, but then again could be worse. So, we'll get that taken care of course, and we will see you soon. Okay, that is fairly circular orbit, if I do say so myself. This is us, of course, deployed. Got a little bit of a descending node here, 2.0. Not sure that too much can be really done about that, but let's just real quick plot out a maneuver. See if maybe we can reach Minmus. Okay. There we go. We are now poised to make a correction here. Let's just see what we can do that. We'll do it at the descending node. we should be able to get fairly close in, I hope. So we will burn at about now. And while we're at it, let's just make sure that we're about where we want to be, and we are. Very good. I'll put this alarm in, and we'll go ahead and we'll send this before the other ship, which is also slated to go to Minmus. A reason for that largely being that this is sort of required for us to really do what we want to. So I'll see you when we are close to docking this thing, because the order of operations on this is not immediately clear at first, but we'll see it. Okay, we are now nearby, and I'm not going to dock this thing directly, by the way, because if I did, that could be a bit of a problem. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it about 100 meters or so away. And we're doing that pretty soon. We'll just begin to null out our velocity now. You can see that even with my beefy machine, that I am now hitting the point of too many parts. No doubt because of all the ships that we have here. Anyway, we will null out our velocity here. Just give that thing a little push. If anything, we would rather be moving away from it rather than close to it. There we go. And I will put it north-south for now. And so there's a few things we have to do here to make this somewhat easier to dock. Now, of course, we're completely done with this engine. I'm going to shut it down for now, just so that we don't run into this weird case where we run into this sort of problem. But the first thing we'll do here is we'll make sure, I think this guy is fueled up, so we'll just bring some mono over, I think. That would probably be the wisest thing to do. Let's just push it out here so that we can redock when necessary. And once we're done with this, what we're going to do is we're going to break this guy apart so that this joint here that you'll be able to see shortly. We're going to break it apart at this joint. The tug over here will bring it into its own thing here. And so we will undock this, maybe, if we can get it to undock. Let's just see if we can make that happen. Does not have to be perfect, but that's very good there. And everything should be more or less balanced. At least I hope so. So let's begin by targeting one of these guys at least. And it would be best if we just simply control from this aft docking port here. Okay, we are about to dock here and complete the new station. That should be more than enough for us. I think we should be perfectly fine with that docking. There we go. Now, of course, our first order of business is to do some basic transfer. So we'll just bring this guy in here. We have 49 meters per second of delta V left on this guy. Actually, probably more, come to think of it. But we want to get rid of it. Well, except I believe we are out of electric charge. Well, that is no good. Hopefully, that will not encounter the station as space debris anymore. We really should have done something about that. Well, nothing we can do about it now, I assure you. But we have tons of liquid fuel tanks we need to lock here. With the main thing being that we have a monopropellant tank. Not just a monopropellant tank, we have this guy too. That, you know, we want to get one of these, the lander filled, because now we should, if we played our cards right, have some form or another of ISRU. So we have plenty of charge too, you'll notice. We'll extend these panels right now. And one of the major changes in 1.0.5, at least from, you know, the perspective of somebody who played in the last release, is that we actually have something a little different here. We have the ISRU unit requiring, I suppose, active cooling, so we're going to do that now. Let's fuel up this one guy here. That'll be very important to whatever it is that we're doing. And we got this guy to contend with as well. At any rate, I mean, we're doing more than well enough with this. And it should be a simple matter for us to do the refueling. I think we have, in fact, completely done it. I think everything except for maybe this guy here, which we're gonna leave for the time being, is completely refueled. That means we can get back to some other things. But one of the things that I want to do is that I want to show you my next invention here, which is the ITS Heavenly Heather, if I can find that here. So this is like the ITS Dauntless, and this is going to fulfill two contracts in particular. Not only is it going to fulfill a contract for a space station around Minmus, also around the moon, and we'll just send a bunch of people out that need to go out. So we'll send these guys here. I'm gonna leave a couple of scientists around I think. But what we'll do is, you know what, we'll leave everybody but Dartrude. We'll take everybody but Dartrude. I will briefly pause, and maybe if the KSP forms are up, I'll also put in the ambient lighting module, because it's getting rather dark. So we will see you then. Okay, we are ready to commence the launch of the ITS Heavenly Heather, and let us go ahead and begin. I will probably see you close to orbit, so we'll see you when we get there. Okay, there we go. We are now in orbit. And, without incident, despite our 6-odd crew members or so. Let's just turn on the lights here, so that, these guys can somewhat feel at home and we can see what we're doing. Let's discuss real quick some of the changes I made. And notably, I added these fuel cells, which can be found somewhere around here. I think I tucked them way back here in the back. And the reason for that fuel cell fact is because this vessel can actually go fairly long range, perhaps all the way out to, oh, I forget exactly the name of it. I believe it is, Ilu. That's the hope, at least. But what we're going to do is we're going to get this guy out on its way to our first destination. And that destination, of course, will be Minmus. So, we'll see you then. And, hopefully everything will go well. Okay, we're getting close, it would seem. Very close, in fact. And I think we'll just polish the rest of this off with a little bit of a burn. You can see the radiators in effect here, doing their thing. And we've actually got a return trajectory here, if we need one. Now, I have a maneuver plotted for this guy here, and this will bring us down 144 kilometers, which will be excellent. And for now, we'll just continue the trip. Okay, we are getting close to SOI now, and we pretty much know the drill with this. We come in, look at our inclination. Let's just go to target O-snap here. We figure out how far off we are in terms of our inclination. And it looks like if we make a minor burn, we'll be able to make a correction of sorts. Though it would seem not much of one. And then, of course, all we have to do here is plot our phasing orbit. Like so. And we will finally get our SOI set up. So that's 1 degree of inclination. I will see you when we are close to our space station. But we've got that, more or less ready to go in an hour or so. So, well, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I'll get us into our phasing orbit at least, and then we will do some rearranging at the station, as it is likely to take some time. So I guess I will see you At least once we figure out how much. And we'll come back then. Okay, there we go. So, to plot then, all we gotta do is bring these guys around as close as possible. There will be a couple of orbits, so it'll be a matter of turning around near the space station. You're still some 10 kilometers out, so just allow me to tweak this node and we'll get this guy going pretty soon. Okay, I am making an attempt real quick to raise the station's periapsis, just so that it is more along the lines of something that is circular. Because it is nice to have a circular periapsis. And as you can see, we have plenty of time. Another 4 hours or so at least. So let's just stabilize the station. And we'll attempt to raise the periapsis to something like that. That is fairly circular. Now, what I'm going to do from here on out is I'm going to take this guy here. I'm going to undock it, and I'm going to do a little bit of rearrangement here. Largely because of the fact that if we don't do rearrangement, that we'll run out of docking ports. Okay, that concludes our rearrangement of the station, of course. I'm just gonna pop out these radiators. I closed them just in case we had clearance issues. Of course, it does not appear to be the case that we do, so I am happy for that. And we'll just come up here real quick. We need a spot to control from. So why don't we just open up the service bay here. Control the space station. Here maybe. See if we cannot get ourselves back to a radial position. So far so good. I mean, we have a circular orbit now, and we have room for plenty of other vessels to dock, at least another 4, which is great. 5 if you include that small docking port, though I don't know that we should. Maybe something small can go there. Lots of solar panels, of course. And as far as power goes, we are in excellent placement here. We can really dock wherever we see fit at this point. Anyway, let's return to the Heavenly Heather, and let us now begin the docking procedure. We have plenty of fuel to dock with, although we may not have enough to completely fill our tank at this point. And you'll see we're actually moving pretty quickly here. We are somewhat off from the looks of things. 0.6 kilometers. Let's do this. Okay, we're coming in pretty quickly here for our docking. And I think it'd be good if we just turn this on. I'm gonna get me a screenshot as well of this. Just because it looks cool. Right for the video. And there we go. This is kind of a nifty looking screenshot too, if I do say so myself. But before we move on, let's do what we can to lighten up our load here. That means doing both liquid fuel and oxidizer. And seeing how much can do with the rest of this. So are we fueled up completely? I'm not sure we can say that. Let me just turn off this guy here. No, we've got a little bit of this going on here, and we will then begin to see I guess maybe about a landing. Probably not a bad idea. So I will see you in a little bit. Okay, I think the next step for us is probably to go ahead and train our kerbals. And we're getting a little bit wobbly. I think I'll do most of this off screen. However, it's probably not a bad idea. I don't know why we're wobbling so much. It's probably a good idea for us to go ahead and undock. Pretty close, I think. Okay, we're now landed. And the first thing for us to do, of course, is what we always do here. We always deploy our panels, of course. And in addition to that, we'll deploy drills and get to drilling. And we will sop up this delicious ore. However, at this point, I think it is worth pointing out that in order to get full experience for these guys, they need to actually plant a flag. And this is something I had not really been aware of. And I don't really want to litter the surface with flags. I don't think. Wonder if... Yeah, we don't have SA. Whoa. Yeah, let's not do that. So that is, of course, an issue, but fortunately what we can do is we can take the flag and we can tell it, you can just put in a temporary name, and we will take down the flag as a result, and this gives us experience. We have a little bit of science we can recover from this, so I think I will do it. The EVA report, I believe, is not something we will be able to do. So that much is not going to be something that we will... Oh, my RCS got disabled somehow. That much is not something we'll be able to do. We'll just get as close as we can. Okay, well, we were just about done with the whole mining thing, and we got all the ore we need, actually. You can see, these radiators are beginning to heat up just a little bit, and there is a heat button on this where we can take a look at that. Unfortunately, But, yeah, we'll get into orbit. And hopefully we got about a year left of testing to do. Well, there we go. We'll stop the harvester, retract these panels, and retract the drill as well. With the amount of money we have, it may not be such a bad idea, I don't think, to consider unlocking the new VAB. And part of the reason for that is because we have a contract that will pay out a fair amount. Let's just wait for this guy to get overhead. Or close enough to overhead anyway. And yeah, I'll go ahead and, well, before we do that, let's go back to the Space Center and take a look at contracts, because some good ones ought to have popped up by now. We may be lucky and get a contextual contract with hardware already in space, but it's more along the lines of recover a part from orbit of the Sun, which I will not do. Well, I'll let you know when we do happen to get a good deal on that. Okay, anyway, let's get up into orbit pretty soon. I think we will be okay just meeting up with it, and I will see you after everybody is all trained up. Just something I thought I would point out, we seem to get world first milestones for things that we've done already, but that were not, previously world first, like doing a crew transfer. I'm gonna clear that up real quick, but I will see you here once everybody is transferred. Okay, we got this contextual contract here, finally, which will allow us to, reuse one of our landing bays that we did. We have the CCP-1 here, which I believe was a prototype moon base. Possibly. Hopefully we're in range of it. Otherwise there may be trouble. We'll just have to see. It wants a temperature scan. Oh, it's way over there. Well, see, how far away is that? 2 kilometers. I'm not so sure we'll be able to arrest our velocity at that point. So, we'll get rid of that, I think. It's unfortunate, too. This, we could put a base on wheels and do this. But, unfortunately, it is not to be. We'll just get rid of that, then. I also took a contract to plant the flag on the moon. Yeah, we'll just... We'll lose a little bit of money in doing that, but... we're done following their orders for now. Indeed we are. Science data from space around Kerbin. Yeah, I'll do that off screen and I'll continue. I think I've got 2 more trips to do before we move on. Okay, so we are now back, and I'm happy to say that I think we will be able to get the VAB upgrade unlocked. You can see that I got another contract here, but there's one more that I'm going to get because it seems to me to be almost double dipping. Perhaps we will have somebody complain that we are doing that we're cheating these guys, but here we go. Complete the Ike 3 course. That seems to be a pretty good thing to do, and we're already going to fly by Minmus whenever we complete the second leg of the other journey, so I'm going to take it. That's going to give us almost $1 million here. And we also have extract 450 units of ore and deliver it into Kerbin orbit. So we'll do that as well. But since we have the money, or we'll have the money, I'm going to go ahead and put the upgrade through. Because we're almost at $1 million anyway, I think that that's a good thing to do. So we've really got two things to do here. You can see by the way that we have spent quite a bit of time around Minmus. And I'm probably going to leave Minmus alone for a little while because it's good for training, but we have been to Minmus quite frequently, and I think that it's time for us to at least, while we're waiting for the Mars transfer, or the Duna transfer, and you can see here that, let's just make sure that contract doesn't require us to fly by. We'll do this. We'll get this guy taken care of as soon as possible. And there is, by the way, you may have noticed it there is a minor issue. Now, of course, we have the ore. We want to do what we did last time, which was to come out here and get as close of an orbit or an escape trajectory as we can, and then we can just overburn a little bit to escape. Something kind of like that. And the nice thing will be that the station will have a little bit less lag. This is definitely something that I might just go ahead and replace some bits. As far as I know, no space station has yet in real life had anything deorbited from it that didn't result in the entire station being destroyed in the process. However, in this case, actually, you know what, we can burn out here, I think. And that would be good for us. We're not quite at Apoapsis, but we should find it fairly easy to dock back with the station, and because of the fact that we have been pulling fuel lately out of this, this may actually require us to pay attention because we don't have radiators on here to this guy right here. Let's just burn. Ooh, yeah, we need to stop burning. We have plenty of Delta V to get back out. Let's just set this guy out here, and I'm going to try, that's in 2 days, I'm going to try and get a moon transfer going as well. So everybody should be loaded up. I made a minor change to the seating here. I put Valentina in instead of Bartran. Or maybe it's Berger. I think it's Bartran that's the pilot here. Could be mistaken about that. And I have SAS off, by the way, because the station has a way of violently shaking itself apart otherwise. But we will just undock this guy here. And, we'll try to plot an escape that flies us by the moon, because that's where we have to go. So let me see if maybe I can make that happen, and we will see you shortly. Okay, so we happen to have that maneuver going. I'm just going to try real quick and see if I can focus on the moon. It may be better though for us to do a correction. We're coming in retrograde right now, which is not the best thing for us to be doing. Oh, we'll actually just leave at the moment. I think that's the best thing to do. I forgot to collect that one sample, but it'll be okay. And, we'll have to make a minor course correction somewhere along the way. If, we can get there. The Heavenly Heather has now shipped out, and we're just waiting now to cross the SOI. Okay, so there we go. I think there may not be much we can do, but let me try to plot an encounter somewhere. Okay, there we go. That's periapsis is like in 13 days or so. We'll just add the node in, and we will wait on the Heavenly Heather to get out. Okay, we just completed the contract for the Orbital, which is fantastic. We have over 1 million funds now, but we must now slow our trajectory down. And let's just go back and target Minmus here. And in that case, we will want to probably burn towards the target, which is no doubt behind us, but I can't find the target node anywhere. Okay, we're expecting about 32 meters per second. It seems that we're a little bit on the unbalanced side somehow. Well, we're close, at least. I don't know why way out here we're having issues with that, I guess. Let's, I guess, do the proper thing here. And we're coming in fast. And we'll just pump the ore forward. I think and actually get down to the space station here. But that'll be in like 3 days. So we'll circularize around there or so, I think. That's probably the best thing to do. In the interim, we have these shiny new toys, or the shiny new toy, rather, to play with. And there's a few things. My original intention was to send a version of the Techite lander, or Tektite, or whatever I call it. I think I call it the Tektite. But we're going to send that over to the moon. And the only deal is that, as it turns out, this guy is something we might want to send to Duna as well. But in that case, we are going to definitely want to take advantage of some things that we have there. For instance, we now happen to have the small ISRU, which I'm considering putting on there, and these small drills. And that is, of course, so that we can mine if we get stuck. Additionally, we now have action groups, which I think is going to be a pretty good thing to do, actually. So, with the money that we have, I'll work on this, because I think that it's definitely something we want. Okay, everybody, we are now back, and I've decided not to really change the Teknite lander, besides maybe to add action groups. We can save that one for later. But for the most part, I'm just going to send this guy up, and then maybe a couple of other spacecraft while we're at it. But we will see you when we get close to the moon, and or at least where we get an insertion. So we will see you then. Okay, there we go. We're in a pretty good orbit, it would look like. Let's just take a look real quick and double check that. You can never really be too sure about these things, but it looks like we're also in the plane of the space station, which is great. We'll just add an alarm for that, because I got a little bit more in the way of hardware to launch, and that's coming in about a day. Still about 400 meters per second or so to break with. Now, just something I designed to save money, because we haven't really done much with SSTOs, is I have designed the Planets launcher. And I've got two payloads here, the Anubis and the Planets craft itself. The purpose of the Planets craft is to go and remove any orbital debris that we might have. And this guy's going to stay up. You can see it's about 20k or so, but you know, that'll be okay. New things that we have, of course, are let me just take a look at this, make sure these guys are locked. The newest things we have are this Clampatron, which we need to unlock. And also, it would be good if we had, in addition to that, the air brakes, which are going to be necessary for this rocket. I'm going to go ahead and I'll get this guy up into orbit. And when we do, I will see you right around the time we are getting ready to deorbit this thing, and maybe some point near re-entry. So, yeah, I mean, this thing is a little bit overpowered for what it is. I may not have needed the main cell engine, but it seems to work. Get about 7.5 tons up there into orbit. And we will just go ahead and launch now. Okay, we're in orbit, although a little bit of a large orbit here. We'll just decouple for now. And this guy will deploy its radiators. As you can see, we have a nuclear-powered stage here, which is good because this thing's going to be in space for a while, I believe. And that just leaves us needing to recover this vessel. Still have plenty of Delta V to spare with respect to this, so I'm going to get this guy nice and re-entered. And we will see you around the time we are making landfall, hopefully close to the KSC. But we are slowing down, of course. Coming in pretty close. So what I did was I aimed my periapsis at this peninsula here. And that seems to work pretty well. But now we have to worry about this thing landing. I think we'll get pretty close, to tell you the truth. Those solar panels are not so bad. It's really just a matter of us slowing down enough. It's hard to see our altitude like that, but we should deploy our chutes. There we go. Looks like those air brakes are what burned up. I'm going to turn on this guy just to slow us down a little bit. Sometimes you get it right with this, sometimes you don't. I think we probably came in a little bit too aggressively. But yeah, that's the Planetes launcher, named after the Planetes vessel, which is itself named after the anime Planetes. And we'll just kick that over like that. Should be golden to recover that. And, not bad for our first recoverable launcher. Let's see how much we got back from it. 97%. Not bad at all, if you ask me. That's the bulk of the launch hardware, and we did have some things explode. But now we have another thing we have to do here. And that involves launching the Anubis using our new reusable system. So I've extended the Anubis launcher just a little bit. But otherwise it's more or less the same. And that's a good thing, really. We're gonna go ahead and send up Gertrude, I think, with this one. And you'll notice I have fins on here. That is no mistake. That is simply so that whenever we need to, we can, when we re-enter, it'll add a little bit more in the way of stability. So, I think Gertrude is ready for the manned test of this. Hopefully we will recover everything. We'll just have to make sure that we're all set here. I believe everything is set up in order. Let's get as close to the KSS as we can. That will be this vessel's destination. Okay, max thrust, and go. This capsule, incidentally, has about, I don't know, I think it's like 300 meters per second at delta V. I'm just going to fly right past it. We'll decouple this guy. And hopefully get close enough to it. Oh no. that was rather fortunate, I think. Okay, there we go. Yeah. All we really have to do now, I think. Looks like there's some amount of heating here, I don't know why. We just need to click on the old hatch here, wherever that may be. There we go. We'll transfer Gertrude to one of these guys here, and up to 7 Kerbals will be able to come back with this vehicle. Now, we do have another one, of course. We have this guy, and we're also going to try to land this. It'll probably come to the point, I think, that, let's see if we do like that. I think, you know, I won't really make a habit of constantly landing these guys, because we all know how annoying that gets. And we'll just shoot for, I think that peninsula is about there. So there we go. No telling if we're landing on a slope. It looks like we're landing on a minor one. But, yeah, I mean, this is going to turn out to be a good transportation system, at least until we are able to do other things with it. So the idea is that if we don't have enough to land, and we may, I'm going to be very cautious about that, though. But here at the end, when we land, the thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until the very last second, and probably within 50 meters or so, even. There we go. We are fairly well landed, I think. Well, let's see how long it would take for planets to dock with one of these spacecraft, because the thing I was going to say is that it may be okay for us to find one that's pretty close by. Well, it turns out we actually have a little bit of oh, we'll just close it alarm. We have a little bit of a window where we could make this happen. And we reach up with that in 10 minutes. So we'll make this happen before we do the burn real quick. It'll be tight, I'll tell you that much. If we add this in, we'll have like a minute or so. We'll just give ourselves 30 seconds or so. That is not good. Let's see, how close are we to this? Can we get in close enough to where it would make sense? I think, yeah, that'll give us 3 minutes. That'll give us plenty of time to make this guy happen here. And let's just see how long that takes us. Whoa! Oh, I see. That confused me a bit. Okay. It won't be long now. We just gotta get this thing into orbit. Even an orbit would be good. And I'm thinking with the amount of thrust we have, we'll just begin to do it here. And maybe try our hardest to get an intercept, which we do have a little bit more time on. Okay, that'll be plenty. I got 40 seconds to plot this, so let's try it out. Okay, that'll be good. Let's get this queued up. And, I will see you when we get close to docking this guy. Okay, we're getting close. I'm going to arm. Maybe, possibly come over here. We should be okay. Let's get in a little closer. I think all we have to do now is take this guy, latch onto it like so, and bring it down to the atmosphere. Which will use a ton of fuel, but... Okay, let's release the thing here. And we need to get back into orbit. Incidentally, we don't need a docking port on this thing. There we go. That guy should easily burn up in orbit. Good news, we just docked. So the only thing really left to do at this point is we have a burn, which must be performed, of course. We'll just kill that one too. And we have lost control of this thing. Unfortunately. We want to control from here, of course. It should be easy enough for us to do this manually, I think. But we need to raise the periapsis so that this is circular, because its eccentricity is a little bit too high for my liking. Let's just get ourselves close to that point. It's not going to take much in the way of Delta V, and we still have plenty of spare Delta V, as it turns out. But we do need to get this set up so that we are able to raise our periapsis. Okay, there we go. That is just about perfect as far as I'm concerned. And we'll just leave that there. This guy will be used for our primary descent. But let's go back to the Ortog, and I will see you whenever we get ourselves really close to our intercept here, docked to the station. Probably more likely, but we'll see you then. Okay, we are about to hook up to the station now. And, let me just turn off the RCS before this thing tears itself apart. So far, pretty good. We just have the Heavenly Heather to dock. And, I will, I guess, see you around the, insertion burn. Oh, we have one burn to do here before we do. So I will get ready for that. It's mostly an inclination change. But, we'll see you around that time. Okay, we're going to make that burn happen now. It says it'll take about 14 seconds, so that's how much time I'm going to allocate for it. And, that'll happen very shortly. All we're doing right now is we're lifting our periapsis so that we come out the correct way. And there we go. And we will get into orbit around here. It still looks like we're going the wrong way, but are we at lunar periapsis? This is a little distressing. Well, let's get on over there. There we go. Periapsis is good. Inclination could probably use some work. Just a little bit of work, though. There we go. Maybe even a little bit higher. And I'll go ahead and do our insertion burn, probably. Let's go back real quick while we're at it. Get rid of the surface. Target mop. And I will get this encounter set up and we will burn near it. Okay. We should be in an orbit now. I'm just going to attempt to effect a rendezvous. Oh, hey, how about that? 6.8. We'll see you when we get close by. Okay, we are about to dock into the mop. And as you can see, things are a little bit less laggy right now, probably because we have fewer docking modules. I'm gonna call it here for now, I think. I believe that, this is probably a good place to stop. But before we do, some time has passed, and that means that we happen to have contracts we can check out before we go. Let's see if there's anything to do. complete the Duna 3 course. I've already got one of those, I think. 2 of them. So I'm not going to bother because I could have taken that if I were science data from space around Minmus. Kinda boring for now, but at least we have this guy to complete, which will hopefully give us the option to put a base on the moon, and we'll try and do some training next time. So until then, this has been Thy Lord Root, and I will see you later.